Okay, we're back with another episode of High Rated Edison. Today we have Playmaker Cap on 1103 rating versus Hate on 1380 rating. Okay, so both players in the top 100. Hate a little bit deeper into it. That must be like a top 50, top 40 score right there. Maybe even top 20 range. So yeah, really good to see two high rated duelists about to go at it. Opening hands are Heavy Storm, Trap, Dust Shoot, Necro Gardener, Armor Knight and Vayu, Royal Oppression, Cat, Foal Troll, Galahad, Foal Troll and Mirror Force. So this looks like Vayu. This is obviously X-Sabers. Let's see how they decide to start it. So Cap is going to get to go first. They're just going to set the Galahad, set the Mirror Force and pass. Draw for turn is Brain. Going to set the Vayu, set the Dust Shoot, pass back. Yep, they're gonna let him get to main one, which is interesting. They're gonna flip the Galahad as first action now. Big think, yeah, they're gonna trap Dust Shoot, get rid of that cat. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't trap Dust Shoot sooner, but I'm assuming they just wanted to let him play out, maybe thinking it was like a Raikou. The rest of the hand wasn't that strong. But yeah, I think I'd be trap Dust Shoot in his standby there. Galahad gonna get into the Vayu now. Gonna pass back, draw for turn is Sirocco. So gonna Heavy Storm, hit that back row. Bring out the Sirocco and get into the Galahad. That's going to do some damage. That's going to work out. Draw for turn is Book. Yeah. Okay. Going to start with the Lizard. Lizard add the Galahad back to hand. Going to set the Book of Moon, Royal Oppression and pass. Draw for turn is a Vayu now. Okay, going to bring out the Vayu. Going to get in or attempt to with the Sirocco. That's going to be successful. And with the Vayu. And they're going to pass back. Draw for turn is a Brain Con. Okay, so Galahad coming out now. Galahad going to get into the Vayu. Yep. Going to pass. Draw for turn is the Gale. Okay, so going to special summon out the Gale. That's going to get met with a Royal Oppression. They're going to bring out the Armor Knight. Armor Knight dump the Sirocco. Yeah, this is huge, right? Because this is just a book. Okay, so Vayu for itself and Sirocco, bring out the Armed Wing. Brain Con. Gonna Book of Moon their own monster now. Yeah, that's smart because it's then defensive. But it is still just over because the Armor Knight is big enough. Okay. Vayu taking it pretty clean there. Didn't really look like Playmaker got off the line. Let's see if they can in game number 2 where they're also going first. So opening hands are Heavy Storm, Armor Knight, Deep Prison, Caius and Sirocco versus Braincon, Crow, Starlight, Airbellum, Saberhole and Raikou. Yeah, I mentioned this last time. It was actually Playmaker was the last X-Saber player I looked at as well. Saberhole versus Fiendish Chain. Discord's going on at the minute. I'm on the Saberhole side. I'm not heavily invested in the X-Saber kind of deck. So yeah, don't come for me on that if you are, but I just think Saberhole is such a good trap and almost the reason to play X-Saber basically. But yeah, it's good to see they're on this. Let's see how they decide to play this out. So gonna go with a set. Yeah, so Saberhole, Starlight Road and Bellum. Yeah, this is nice. Let's see if Hate falls for the Starlight Road. They have got the heavy. The pickup return there is bottomless. There's not a whole lot of reason to assume that Starlight is down, so they might just go for it. Yeah, they do, and it ends up with a Stardust. Oh, I mean, it's not too bad, right? You got Armor Knight to set up like a plague into a Caius play. Sirocco coming down now. That's going to get met with Saberhole. They're just going to have to set the bottomless, set the Deep Prison, and pass. Draw for turn is a full Helm Knight. Wow. Okay, now we're starting. This gets under bottomless, but the synchro that they they can't, sorry, they're both tuners. This gets under bottomless, but Deep Prison is probably going to target the Stardust anyway, so they could lose a card here. Just depends on what they value. So yeah, they're going to Deep Prison the Airbellum. I kind of think that's good. With Sabers, like the last place you actually want X-Saber monsters to be is the graveyard. Or second only to the field anyway. Because yeah, you've got Gotem's emergency call, you've got like Foal Troll loops and all that kind of stuff, and it's just, yeah, I actually think even though you're going to take more damage and the Stardust is going to be a pain in the arse if you have any destruction effects, I think you do just have to get rid of the Airbellum. So Stardust going to get in for 25 now. Sets the Raikou pass. Draw for 10 as a Sirocco. We summon the Armor Knight, dump the Plague. Yep, Plague, stack, gonna get crowed. Armor Knight gonna try and get into this Raikou. Raikou's gonna hit the back row. Oof, stinky. Mills, 2 Air Bellum and an Area B. Wow. Pass his turn, draw for turn is book now. Yeah, so they're gonna bring out the Full Helm Knight. They're gonna book it. Going to book the Armor Knight, that is, and then they're going to use the Full Helm Knight effect to bring back the Air Bellum. Yeah, hate's seen enough. They don't want to lose the last card. Yeah, really nice and clean. Book there showing why it's so good in X-Sabers. Okay, game number 3 now, so hate's going to get to go first. Hands are Voltroll, Saber Slash. Yeah, we saw this last time they were on the channel, but basically destroy a number of face-up cards on the field equal to the number of face-up attack position X-Saber monsters you control. This can be really good. You know, it's a regular occurrence to have 2 or 3 X-Saber monsters on the field, and throughout the combo, maybe even like 4 or 5. So, yeah, pretty good card that I don't think many X-Saber players are playing. But it looks like Playmaker is bringing it in from the side. Kaiku, Emma's Blade, and Air Bellum. And then on this side we have Rota, Burial, Plague, Super Nimble, Mega Hamster, Card Trooper, and Solemn. A few things I can do here. Yeah, they're going to set the Hamster, set the Solemn. Pass, draw for turns, Book of Moon there. Just going to pass it over here. Yeah, I guess that you are thinking this is Raikou or Hamster, so you don't want to set an Emma's Blade into it. Because it's only when it's destroyed by battle. That feels okay. Pick up a turn is Mirror Force, going to flip the Hamster, bring out the Raikou now, summon out the Card Trooper, Mills, Caius, Armor Knight, and D Prison. Going to get in for 11, going to get in for 19, going to pass it over, draw for 10 is Call of the Haunted. Yeah, the Playmaker's got to get on the board this turn. They're going to start with the Air Bellum. Yeah, choosing not to Solemn here. Battle phase. Oh, going to get into the Raikou. Is that right? That doesn't feel right to me. I mean, I guess they could just Raikou anyway. You're going to set the book. Yeah, set the book, set the Saber Slash, set the Call of the Haunted. I think Call of the Haunted's pretty good though. Okay, so Card Trooper going to mill Vayu, Necro, Dust Shoot, and they drew into the Greffa with the zombie. Yeah, this one's kind of over, right? So Greffa pitch Plague, dump Vayu. Vayu go off now. With the Sirocco for the Armed Wing. Plague go off now. Stack the Rota, bring it out. Use Plague and the Armed Wing for the Stardust. Yeah, this would play around a Mirror Force if they had one. Vayu with the Armed Wing for the Armor Master, sorry. Gonna try and get in now. Yeah, they've attacked lowest to highest, which is correct, but it's gonna mean they can bring out the Air Bellum and avoid the damage from this. But it, with the book, is it not enough damage to kill? Maybe. Greffa, yeah, okay, they are going to survive this turn. Well, they would if it wasn't for the Solemn. Yeah. Okay, yeah, a little unfortunate there. Okay, yeah, I mean, there's a reason Vary's the best deck in the format, right? That looked pretty controlled all the way through. I mean, they milled the Necro Gardener on their way as well, which was pretty insane. Yeah, and they also, you know, if they could have got some of these monsters off, well, they also have Burial for like another Armor Master play. So yeah, they were pretty locked in there. Mirror Force as well. You know, it was really this third game was pretty one-sided. X-Sabers, I mean, they look really cool when they go off, but you do just see a lot of matches like this where they don't get to. I like seeing some of the text in X-Sabers though. So some of the things I've seen recently are Swords of Revealing Light, Ancient Forest. Thought that one was pretty cool. Again, like level limit area B, something you can like highlight, get rid of if you need to. Saber Slash we're seeing here. I've seen a couple of different techs and stuff in Sabers to try and get them into a really good place. But I think Playmaker is playing a good version of it. You know, they're playing the Saber Hole, they're playing this Saber Slash card, which is pretty cool. Don't know how effective it is. They haven't really been able to land monsters, but yeah, the weaknesses are kind of things that can interrupt your plays, and Vayu is one of the most interactive decks. You know, with all the stuff they're able to put up. you know, through interruptions. So it's pretty tough when you're a Saber player going up against something like Vayu Turbo. But it does have good matches into other decks in the meta. So, you know, there's pros and cons of picking this. It's more considered rogue, I guess, still. But I do think it's a meta threat, especially when you see some of the really like simplified builds that are quite fast go off. That's when it starts looking really threatening. I think both players played well. I don't think there was much else they could have done. It felt like this one was kind of decided from the start. I think Playmaker needed to get on the board faster than they did. I don't know if they had a way to do that. Saber players, let me know if you saw any lines that would have been good. But I don't think I saw anything apart from maybe just set the Emma's Blade into what was the hamster at the start. But even then, like, this is a Raikou that's just totally wasted anyway, so it doesn't feel good. Kaiku coming down would have been good, so they, you know, can't banish cards. But again, you know, there's not, it didn't feel like there's a lot they could do. Like, looking at the one-offs that the Vayu player got into this turn, it just didn't seem like enough to get through. It didn't seem like Sabers had enough to get through it. Good game though. Nice to see Sabers at the top tables. I mean, Playmaker was a top 100 player when this started, and they hung pretty well with a very high rated Vayu Turbo player. So always good to see. And actually, I've seen Playmaker play before. They're on X-Sabers most of the time, meaning that, like, you know, they're getting up to this ranking with X-Sabers, meaning it is a real deck. We all should be aware of it, and how to play around it, how it works, and just try and make sure that we're ready when we go to any tournaments or anything like that, that we're not, you know, we're not sleeping on the deck that can rip your hand apart and put up 8k pretty easily. But yeah, not this time, but it can do it. I've seen it.